Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, the Professor, Russ Stevens, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey, wherever he's there right now. Well, we have another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. All right, guys, breaking news from the Grandstanders Live desk. Stephon Gilmore's house for sale. If you guys are interested.
Oh, is that right?
They'll be taking offers, hearing offers November 3rd at 5 o'clock, which I think coincides with the trading deadline. Are you
telling the truth, Scott? Are you making this up?
I am not making that up. That is the truth. That he's put his house up for sale, and in the listing it said he'll take offers at 5 o'clock on November 3rd.
Oh,
so
very
like he thinks he's getting out. He's being traded.
Maybe they gave him a heads up. I'm guessing. The Patriots usually they do have a little class about them. They usually give somebody a heads up if something like that's going on.
You think, or the opposite, that he's requested a trade?
Why would he request a trade? He's getting paid a fortune.
Maybe his value is not going to increase this year, playing for the Patriots.
Yeah, the writing was on the wall when he, in retrospect, he held them up for some more dough at the beginning of the year. We know that Belichick doesn't take kindly to that sort of thing in general. He's committed the worst sin of all. He hasn't played well. So he held them up for more money, and he looks like a B-list, defensive back out there.
Is it a lack of effort or a diminishing ability, you think?
I don't know.
That's a great question.
Russell's 100% right, because you go look back through the years. Richard Seymour, Jamie Collins, he doesn't care. You talk contract in the locker room, you're gone.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
That's the cardinal sin.
Yeah, look, with guys like Ninkovich, Belichick went up to him and gave him a couple of $1 million extra. Belichick will make that decision if he thinks you're deserving of it and you're underpaid. It's not the other way around. Look, Belichick, we know, has to control the locker room. Gilmore's going to have to go for that reason because he's talking contract. Now, boys, we talked last week, Gilmore for Trubisky and a first-round pick. Was that enough? There's not a chance right now that you're getting a first-round pick for Stephon Gilmore. No more than a second.
It lost leverage with him putting the house on the market and everything.
Are you going to hang it? Are you going to hang your hat on Mitch Trubisky for the next 10 years for this team? I don't want to. I'd rather stink for a couple of years and get a really legitimate superstar quarterback in here.
Well, Russ, I checked. ESPN has the chances of getting the number 1 pick in the draft, and we have a 6% chance.
A 6% chance.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. The problem is that you're up against the likes of the Jets and the Giants who just stink. I mean, and they're I don't think their ownership or their GM have any problem, tanking the rest of this year because it's just going to cost them. They don't. It's like the Red Sox tanking. They don't. Invite the wrath of all the fans and the booing in the stadium. There's no one there.
Well, Joe, good point.
Joe, it's weird though for the Jets to have invested so much in Sam Darnold, and he looked like he was the future, and all of a sudden they'll be giving up on him.
Well, they can trade him if it comes to Trevor Lawrence, but remember the Patriots play the Jets twice. You take the mantle from them and get Trevor Lawrence by losing twice to the Jets.
Yeah,
absolutely. Look,
that'll be an interesting game to watch. Two teams trying to lose.
Fact is, boys,
Buffalo seemed to be trying to lose last week to the Jets.
Yeah, if we play, they weren't trying. They're going to win the division if they, beat the Patriots. But fact is that if the Patriots lose this week against the Bills, moving forward, we'll be rooting against the Patriots.
I think that's right. I mean, look, whether they can tank all the way for Trevor, or look, if they even just get in the top 5 to 10, they're going to have a better shot at a great player than they've had since they drafted what? It was Mayo?
Richard Seymour. Yeah,
what's that?
Yeah, almost Richard Seymour,
Well, but I think Gerard Mayo was
Vince Wilfork.
Yeah, Vince Wilfork,
Well, McGinnis was 5, right? But then
but this is Belichick didn't pick him, right?
Yeah.
So I think Gerard Mayo was the last top 10 pick that I can remember.
He was number 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, you don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to be a star. This Fields kid from Ohio State could be a great.
You're going to get you'll get yourself a quarterback in that draft if you come in, with the number picked between 5 and 10, because you could always move up from 5. You can't move up from 20, right?
But then you need a year or two to develop them.
Yeah.
So it's a couple more years. This could turn into, an extended tankathon.
So, Timmy, if the Patriots lose on Sunday, does Belichick cut Cam?
I don't know why I would keep him around. If he has another performance like he did last week, I mean, let the guy move on. Let him find another home. He looks like a backup quarterback position is his future in the NFL, or maybe a goal line stealing quarterback or something like that.
Look, if you have
that was amongst the worst quarterbacking performances I've ever seen.
Isn't the phone that shouldn't the Crafts or Belichick be calling Jerry Jones right now? I mean, isn't the obvious place for Cam to go is Dallas, and they've got tons of skill players. They can run any kind of offense they wanted in that. They would love Jerry Jones would love freaking Cam Newton on his team.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
The only thing they're missing is
I never even thought about that. Why not?
I know.
That's been the number one rumor all week. Steve
has been.
Oh, is that right? I haven't heard it. It's just obvious to me. It's like they need a quarterback. They could win that division with 7 wins.
Yeah, right.
Easily. Isn't it funny that the two problem childs, the two big underachievers, are the two guys who also got COVID and brought it to the team?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a great point.
Maybe, they've had this lackadaisical. Now it's coming out. The stories are starting to come out that Gilmore didn't participate in the training camp.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Gilmore's
going to play. No, he didn't want to play for a contract he thought was substandard, even though he already got paid all the bonuses and everything else that made that contract look better. But at the end of the day, he looked at his contract this year and said, "I'm only going to make $11 million this year. I want more."
Look, this guy, on the biggest week of the Patriots season last year, the Miami Dolphins game, all he wanted to talk about was lobby for his Defensive Player of the Year award. That was his main concentration. And then he gets torched on that Sunday in that very important game that cost us ultimately the season. And he's been in trouble ever since. And he's been a poor player for the money.
And getting trucked by some really bad receivers too.
Yeah, and Gilmore, the next time he tries to make a tackle, they have to run into him for him to make a tackle.
Yeah.
Right? All right, boys, I just want to mention before we talk a little bit about the game on last Sunday, that I did predict the Patriots would lose 34-10, and it was 33-6. And I'm almost on every week, guys, despite the fact you won't give me any credit.
I hope you had some money on it.
That was the second prediction, as we recall.
That's bullshit. That was the first prediction. And Joe, didn't the week prior I said it was going to be a field goal game?
Well, he has a different prediction on each show. That way,
that's not true.
He covers himself, Joe. I'm in agreement.
You know what, Joe? Remember the Tuesday night. I'll remember Thursday night.
Okay, I'm going to start writing it down from now on so we can go to the fact sheet at the end every week. You know what I mean?
All right. Edelman needs to retire or be traded. Is that pretty much the answer?
I heard a great one today. Throw at, if you want to do, only good teams would want Gilmore right now. You can't do the Jamie Collins to him. But you can help out. You don't need Julian Edelman's not going to be on this team next year.
No, he's not.
35 years old. Throw him into the trade.
And
what do we get? Do we get a first? Do we get a first for that? No.
Maybe.
A third?
Julian would stand alone would be a seventh probably, because he's basically washed up and he's not going to be any better next year.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised, Russ, a little bit by the Antonio Brown signing by the Buccaneers, because I figure when Tommy Brady walks into the management of the Buccaneers, I thought he'd lobby for Edelman, not Brown.
Well, he might know how Edelman feels and might be watching how Edelman plays and realizing this is not the guy I want to pin my Super Bowl future to.
But
Russ is 100% right again.
yeah, but you don't want to pin it on Antonio Brown too.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Maybe
got
he's
a.
got a better bet.
Can we take an over under prediction from everyone on Antonio Brown number of games?
Yeah, what's yours,
Mine is 3.
Joe?
I say finish the season and the playoffs.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm with Joe. I think he'll stick all the way through, and so he'll have some, depending on how it ends, he'll snap in the off season. But this is a guy who, if he has a shred of common sense, he will keep it as clean.
Are they going to put an asterisk with that?
Oh, I couldn't answer that one, Russ. He's freaking insane. He doesn't have any common sense.
Russ, is there an asterisk with that? That's on the condition they take his phone away from him?
Yeah, that's right. Keep him
He's
off
not. First of all, the bottom line is, forgetting that he's insane, criminally insane, is that he doesn't want to play football anymore. It's pretty clear. I watched that Hard Knocks when he was with the Raiders, and he didn't want to have any contact during the practice at all.
Why did he sign then? I mean, I agreed with you up until yesterday when he signed a contract with the Buccaneers.
What else he's done? He's tapped out of money. He probably owes everybody and their sister. Somebody's going to give him a paycheck, and he's going to be AB. That's what he's going to do. He's going to run sideline passes, and the moment somebody hits him, he's going to either say he's injured or he's going to.
If I had to bet, I'm with Joe, but you could be right.
Scotty, what's your prediction, Scotty?
Yeah, what's that? Not in weeks, in hours. The guy, he'll be lucky if he lasts for Sunday. The guy's insane. You don't all of a sudden not be insane. He's insane.
It's entertainment at this point. It's entertainment.
Yeah, all right. So Jared Stidham stinks worse than Cam Newton. Would you agree?
No. What could be worse than Cam standing there in the middle of the field watching the guy who threw the interception to run
I'd say our best passer right now is Hoyer, if you ask me.
No,
he's the best thrower of the ball.
I did notice something on that. They didn't ever replay the interception that Stidham threw, and it looked like Edelman just completely quit on it. Like he had no interest, didn't even sort of turn back towards the ball. I would love to get a replay to find out how egregious an interception that was, because it looked like Edelman was just like, I don't even want to be out here.
But Russ, we can knock that interception out of the equation, and he's just an interception machine anyways, though, it seems like.
No, I mean, look, there's nothing strong to be said for him. I'm not even that trying to defend him. I'm just trying to figure out, like, is he even worth being on the roster?
You guys agree that Hoyer's the best?
He has the most amount of drops in the whole league, and he hasn't been targeted that much. He leads the league in drops.
I think
would you say Hoyer throws the best ball right now, though, of all three quarterbacks? He's the best thrower?
Let's say who has the least
QB performance of the year, including.
What's that?
It's like saying who has the least smelliest shit.
I know, but maybe his smells the least. Who knows?
No, come on. None of them are right now currently starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Not one of the three guys be doing that. All right, where was Jacoby Myers the whole season? We were asking that, and then all of a sudden in the second half, he looked like the best wide receiver the Patriots would have, right?
Yeah, well, him and Damian Byrd are the only ones who actually seem to try to get open.
He looked like the same Jacoby Myers that we saw last year, very in control of his body, running nice routes and catching a pass. I don't understand that.
He must be in the doghouse for some other reason, doesn't practice well or something, because it took N'Keal Harry getting a concussion for him to even get a sniff of the game.
Look, Russ, it's pretty clear to me that the plan is still to tank.
Well, I don't think the plan was to tank at the beginning of the year. I think the plan is becoming tank. And if they lose this weekend, to your point, he'll start stripping the house back to the studs.
No, I smelled the skunk when Belichick didn't even throw a challenge flag on that first down that time. That was my first strongest indication that this season's out the window already.
Well, the veterans are all dogging it. The McCourtys are dogging it. Gilmore was dogging it. Cam's dogging it. Edelman's dogging it. Slater even admits to dogging it.
Yeah,
They're
I
all
know,
dogging
right?
it for one reason or another. I don't think it's Belichick and managing. This is the opposite of the usual tankathon. Usually management's tanking and the players foil them. This is the opposite. The players are tanking and management's trying to get them to go along.
Okay, who retires first, N'Keal Harry or Julian Edelman? No,
I
I'm
think
serious.
N'Keal Harry might have played his last play as a football player.
I think he may have, right?
They say he's concussion. The broadcasters on the game were saying he's had a history of concussions and he's very aware of that situation. And this might be it.
Doesn't look like a guy who really wants to play football too much.
No.
And it won't be a real loss either, other than the first round pick being
Well,
wasted.
now the first round pick was already taken. I mean, you're not getting it back.
Have you seen the replay of DK Metcalf chase that guy down on the interception?
Yes. Ben Watson too.
Can you believe that we picked N'Keal Harry in front of that guy?
Oh my God, unbelievable!
All the scouts though, Russ. Everybody said he was the guy. Everybody.
Yeah. And DK Metcalf was the third guy picked on his own team. Everyone said no, that he was just a weightlifter. He wasn't a football player.
So, guys, we heard so much about the two tight ends that they drafted in Asiasi and Dalton Keene. All of a sudden,
Matching floor lips.
they dressed Asiasi. Didn't throw a freaking pass him, but they dressed him. And apparently now he's down on the depth chart. I don't know how further you could be. And they bring up Dalton Keene, who catches a pass like it was the first time he had ever had one thrown to him.
Well, I tell you one thing that Belichick, I'm hoping Belichick is thinking of doing is Thomas Dimitroff got fired by Atlanta. At a minimum, we know that Thomas Dimitroff can pick wide receivers and tight ends. He picked Julio Jones against remember, Belichick went to him. He went to Belichick. Belichick told him not to pick Julio Jones. Pick Calvin Ridley. He picked the kid Austin Hooper who can catch.
Yeah.
They got that kid Russell Gage. They've got 3-4 receivers on that team. Just bring Dimitroff in and say, you don't have to do anything else except draft pass catchers for us.
I'll tell you, this year it's an indictment on the Patriots scouting staff, right?
Horrible.
They got to fire whoever's been scouting wideouts and tight ends for the last 10 years. They should be fired.
Yeah, let's upgrade. Let's trade up for Chad Jackson. Do you remember that in the second round from Florida? I don't even think the guy ever saw the field. It's getting embarrassing because the fact is that this weekend exposed a lot. Last weekend exposed a lot, and the young players are not where we thought they were going to be. Chase Winovich, last time we saw him, he was fighting with Bill Belichick on the sidelines.
After taking a stupid penalty.
And apparently, the Patriots played one down with only 10 guys on defense to show you what we've become. And I think it was Chase who was supposed to be on the field and did not go on.
And we were just lauding him 2 weeks ago, saying what a great player he was.
But it was weird. It was right. It was strange, Russ, because last week he only played like 22 snaps. I'm like, why is every time they show Bill Belichick on the sidelines, Chase is behind him?
Yeah, they Greg Bedard reported in the last couple of days it's because Winovich makes a monumental mistake per game. Makes a mistake that no one can understand. It just drives Belichick crazy. And
is he doing a Jamie Collins freelance?
I think so. I mean, I saw Bedard. He drew up a play. He showed video on a play where Winovich was just like he was in complete no man's land. Gave up a 20-yard reception because he had no clue where he was supposed to be on this play.
Well, how about the personal foul he got in this last game?
Right.
Yeah.
Way away from the play. No reason.
45 yards away from the play, he decides to push Scotty's God, Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So what a great segue, JP's first son, because Jimmy G has proven again, fellas, that he's the man. He makes all the throws.
If,
He's the winner.
I'm
and he
not
torched
mistaken,
us.
though.
Pretty
Like,
pedestrian day from Jimmy G, I must
He
say.
if I'm
torched
not
us.
mistaken, though, Scott, about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, after Jimmy G played a crummy game, you were saying sign Cam, and we've got and who needs Jimmy G?
That's
So now
not true at all. That's a lie. That's a
it's not a
Play the
lie. I'll
tape.
pull up the text.
That's
Pay no
not.
attention to that man behind the screen.
Well, I
I'll
did
pull up
say
the
sign
text.
Cam. I'll give you that. I
Oh,
was
Russell, I want
totally
to reach
into
to
it.
the screen and hug you right now.
Yeah,
Oh, and to all of you.
yeah.
Yeah. No, look. I said sign Cam. I admit it. Yeah, mea culpa. Absolutely. I was excited as anyone. I thought he brought a different type of player to.
How has he gone from that to this in 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Look, I don't know.
How
Guys,
has it happened?
we do have
Is
to mention.
Seattle that bad? He looked so good in that second half against Seattle. Are they that bad? He threw to every receiver.
Boys, we have to mention
I said I'd rather take him than Brady. I said it. I can't believe I said it.
but
Brady looks so horrible.
Wash your mouth out.
I know, and
No, but
Cam
pump
looks so
the
good.
brakes.
You know,
we have to
once
mention
again,
one thing. We have to mention there is a possibility. Look, the guy had a virus, a pandemic. That there is a COVID, fog that he's in because he really does look like he doesn't know how to play football. I mean, this does look like a complete opposite guy that we saw the first 3 weeks. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
he's standing in the pocket like he's a peewee football player, like he doesn't have that clock in his. How many times has the guy been sacked in his life that you would think he has some type of feel for what's going on? He has no feel for the game right now. Zero, none, completely gone.
yeah. Edelman had that big game. I just think that there are no weapons. I think he's bad. I also think that the skill players are, in which, by the way, have been evaluated as by far the worst set of skill players in the NFL.
Yeah.
Scott, but I talked about last night a little bit. This offense is based around timing. You get up to the line, you look at the defense, and certain guys are supposed to be in certain places at certain times. And Brady used to throw to those spots, and the guys were there. Throw that all out the window now. I mean, that offense is gone and over. Either this team makes some type of adjustment to what they're working with, or just forget it.
All right, boys, we gotta get through some stuff. All right, predictions for this weekend's game, Russell.
They'll lose like 30-14.
Lovely and talented Adrian Citalo. They're gonna lose 30 to what?
14.
30-14. Uncle Joe.
Buffalo's offense isn't that good, so I'll make it 22-12.
22-12. Timmy boy.
Buffalo.
I'm going 34-9. 3 field goals by our man. That's
Wow.
as close as we're going to get to the end zone.
All right. Well, this is my one and only prediction. It's 28-17 Buffalo wins. Remember that. One prediction. So when I get it exactly correct,
I wrote it down for you.
28-17. I'll get a tattoo on my forehead if you guys need it. All right, boys, go to the Celtics. We're going to buzz through this. NBA season is to start December 22nd. You know I love trade rumors. I've decided I've come to the conclusion that Marcus Smart does need to be traded. That his value is at its highest level, and that when Marcus Smart scores 20-plus or more points, the Celtics lose, and you're never going to be able to control Marcus in the fourth quarter to tell him not to shoot.
Yeah.
And who are you going to get from? I don't want to pick.
No, look, if you can get if you can get the second pick or third pick in the draft for him and Robert Williams and our fourth and all our freaking
No, you wouldn't need to. You wouldn't need to. He's got a very, very high look. I think
He's
in
got a
terms
good
of,
reputation around the league.
I think in terms of his trade value, it's very high. I think he has an enormous amount of trade value across the league. I could imagine getting a guy like Drew Holiday from the Pelicans for Smart, which would be fantastic because he's a very good defensive player. He's a much better offensive player.
Yeah, and I think that's what we need. And I have to be honest with you. If you get rid of Marcus Smart, you probably keep Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
I don't think
you can only get rid of one of them. You can't get rid of both of them. It's just too much.
No, you can't. Right. So I think
Do you think they'll even start the season then? The Lakers and Heat have already said they're not going to play until February.
Yeah,
LeBron
has got his bossy, all rounded up.
it seems awkward. Yeah, look, November 18th is when the NBA draft is, and then
You have to have training camp December 1st.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
It seems
LeBron runs the league. LeBron runs the league, so.
Yeah, no, it's going to be very interesting. All right, Tampa versus the Dodgers. Dodgers win. I'm very glad for the Dodgers. LA. It's been over 30 plus years. It's a great sports town, and as Russ knows, having lived there, it's a Dodgers-Lakers town.
Yeah, I mean they went back to back. I'm glad for Kershaw. I always like it when the best players actually do win. I don't like it when a great player doesn't win a championship. It just bums me out. And I'm really glad. I'm glad that he got one.
Yeah.
Scotty, I got a question for you. Justin Turner's actions yesterday.
Oh my God.
Probably more harmful than Alex Cora's, right? What kind of suspension did you give him?
Absolutely. Look, Justin Turner, the fact that he went out when he knew he had COVID, and then he took his mask
and security
off.
Tried to stop him.
Yeah, he took his mask off. I think he should be look, first of all, there's going to be liability issues, right? That they didn't stop him. We're going to have to see if somebody dies because of his actions. You would have to suspend him for a couple of years.
Yeah, Manfred says that security tried, and he was adamant. He fought his way onto the field.
It's unbelievable. Justin Turner had a great reputation. I would have loved Justin Turner to be on the Red Sox. I just thought he was a perfect fit every season. But I just cannot believe what he did last night. And look, what it says to the rest of the public was, again, it continues that whole COVID denier theory that a lot of people have going.
Dave Roberts, isn't he a cancer survivor? Dave Roberts.
I don't know, but it's unbelievable. And look, it takes
someone who could easily be compromised.
And it strips the headline. It strips the headline of the
Dodgers victory. Yeah.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's horrible. But I have to talk about Alex Cora. There are two. I hate two people in Boston sports, and one of them is not even in Boston. I hate Grandpa. That's absolutely true. And I hate Alex Cora, and I hate that Boston fans are even talking about him to be the next manager. What has happened to us?
We don't want Tech.
I don't know if everyone looks at him the same way you do, Scotty.
Yeah.
I agree, Tim.
What is wrong with all of you? What is wrong with you?
I have a whole text group with all my high school buddies, all Stoughton guys, and the conventional wisdom within that group is what he did was wrong. He served his time. He served his suspension that he was given, and now he should be free to come back.
Oh my! Oh my! This is the greatest scandal in the history of sports since we were born. No question.
Everyone on every team is trying to steal.
No, really. I don't know. Maybe this is the moral fabric that we have in this country. Maybe it's the way we're built right now. But it's unbelievable that this piece of shit, this vile human being, could even sniff one of the greatest.
So will you, if Alex Cora is the manager of the Red Sox next year, will you root for the Red Sox?
I will, of course. I always root for the Red Sox, absolutely. But I can't wait to get Alex Cora somehow in the same room as me so I can call him a vile piece of shit. I cannot wait for that. No, seriously.
I don't think he's got to be the manager. There are enough people like Scotty that the PR conscious Red Sox will probably back down on it. I know they'd like to. They'd like to rehire him.
They would. I think the Renicky thing was a bag job. They threw Renicky out there to the Wolves. He agreed to it, so he can, he got a nice salary and helps his pension and stuff. But I think it was all in the plan to hire Cora back.
Seems like it.
Right?
Seems like it.
You could have said we're in rebuild mode, got a young manager, and had him familiar with the players and stuff. Why wouldn't you have done that? You didn't have to have some. Who was the stopgap measure for?
I think this was almost this was a throwaway season, Scotty. They just
No, but I mean, think
threw
about
it
it.
away.
Watching anyways.
Didn't they always call him interim manager Ron Renicky?
No, they gave him the full
No,
job. He was not the interim manager. They hired him as the full job.
I know, but there was no reason to ever call him interim manager. Oh, but wait, there was, because they wanted to see if he was part of the 2018 Red Sox. That I'm very afraid of, Russ, that there's going to be more that comes out of that, and that's going to ruin our favorite season.
Yeah, it's a little dark around here right now between Mookie Betts and the Los Angeles Lakers and Tom
Tommy
Brady. It's a little
and
dark
Gronk.
right now.
I know, right? Exactly.
Well, Tom Brady, the Rays did not win the Super Bowl, so Tom Brady's witchcraft did not work for that. So.
I know, we mentioned
Well,
that.
if Kevin Cash doesn't pull the starting pitcher,
All right,
maybe he would've.
before we go, we got to talk. Chara, boys, does he stay or go? Because he hasn't signed with a team. Is Uncle Joe, is Chara on the Bruins next year?
If I wouldn't. I'd send him packing. Give a young kid a chance. They got to rebuild that team. But if he wants to be an assistant coach, fine. Come on down.
Timmy,
I say he's here, limited ice time, killing penalties. That's it.
Rusty boy.
Same as Tim. Yep, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think he's on the team, and I think he is like a quasi-assistant coach, but willing to. He practices with the team, and if all of a sudden they have some problem, they throw him on the roster. But the last thing he's going to be doing is playing 100 games.
Great on the penalty kill still.
I'll tell you, he adjusted his game pretty well last year. He was not a liability out there last year.
I know, but it's still tough to watch, and, it's not going to get any better. All right, boys, that show went quick. Jeez, we could have just talked about the Patriots. Want to thank everybody behind the scenes, of course, Corbin, a lovely, talented agent, checking in on her with us. Of course, all the boys. And, of course, check out our website at thegrandstanders.com. And tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. And remember, Uncle Joe and I will be at the Coolidge Corner Clubhouse tomorrow night. That's 307 Harvard Street in Brookline, Mass., 6 to 7, so come on by. My name is Scott Kerman, and have a great and happy night.